I just want to say a little bit more before I stop about some of the changes that are happening in the business world, which students are going to enter or are already part of. The business world is phenomenally different than it used to be a generation ago. Everything I've said today suggests that pace of change is going to get quicker, that whole organizations we take for granted simply won't exist in the future. You just look at this here. The figures are partly explained because of the time difference, but only very partly explained. Okay, 1990, Detroit in the United States was the engine room of, almost literally in fact, of American industrialization. It's the headquarters for General Motors, Chrysler, Ford. Okay, and there were well over 1 million people employed in those businesses in that area, in Detroit and the state of Michigan in the United States. And those companies had a market capitalization, a value of $36 billion. And a value per employee of $30,000, which was quite high for the time and seen as good. And that's virtually 30 years ago. Look at this. I say today, it's 2012. It would have gone up. Silicon Valley in the United States, the home of Google, Facebook, Apple, and similar companies. It only employs 130,000 people, only about a tenth of what the car industry used to employ in Detroit. So jobs are going to be perhaps more difficult to find and fought after. You've got to be good. Look at the size of the business. Look at the value per employee. Phenomenal. So jobs are going to be more difficult to get. You're going to have to be good. You're going to have to, you could have got a job any of us could have got a job as a car mechanic there, but can we get a job in these companies now? But look at the rewards. If you do, the ability to reward people obviously is related to, you won't be getting $6 million, but is related to the productivity of the business they're in. Okay. I just thought that was an amazing slide demonstrating change within what we would normally call a generation, slightly less than a generation. Generation is normally considered about 25 years. Less than a generation. Same country, its two biggest flagship industrial areas. And if we look at relatively new organizations, new brands, if you like, I think I'm right in saying that these did not come from the established players in the industry. They came from left field, as the Americans would say. They came from people who weren't. PayPal didn't come from the banks. It would have been obvious that it should have done, but it didn't come from banks. Banks are still interested in the same old boring stuff for which they extract huge amounts of money for very little work from societies. People in Britain don't like banks. Okay? Bankers are paid a tremendous amount of money, not always for... we won't go into it. Amazon is phenomenal in Europe, at least in the United States. Amazon and eBay, they weren't invented by retailers. They didn't come from Walmart or Tesco or the big retail companies. They came independently from different sources. Yet Amazon in the UK is causing established retail brands to really struggle. And within a very short period of time, established retail brands will be going out of business because of Amazon. Because they can do things which the population want when they want them, without going out in the cold and the wet and the rain, delivered to your home, the same or lower price, more convenient. Simple ideas, very simple ideas. Nothing new about mail order, but with technological advances such as that. So they are changing the nature of business. Instagram. Now I don't know, Instagram? I have no idea, but my daughters use it all the time, and I keep getting these things sent me on Instagram, and Instagram didn't come from Kodak. Not at all. Kodak doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. Yeah. It's done away with it. Spotify is a music site, yeah? Yeah? Downloading music. The traditional musical industry is really, really suffering. People don't want to buy, well, in my days we used to buy big plastic discs like this. Then it went to cassette tapes. Then it went to smaller discs. Why? They're all meaningless. They're all, or partially at least, without value. Things like Spotify can do that. Spotify wasn't invented by the music industry. It was invented by a digital industry.